Oh, hi there. This is Jean. Um, I'm thoroughly scruffy at the moment because I'm just back from the gym. I go to a personal trainer twice a week, which keeps my strength up even when I've got other issues. So that's brilliant. Now, I want to talk about how crazy life can be, and it's certainly crazy at present. After the last 2 years of COVID, we took a collective deep breath and looked forward to 2022. How well did that work out? We've got massive floods in Eastern Australia, and now we had huge floods in Central Australia. Now we've got a war in Europe, plus a lot of people we all know and love have died. We can never eliminate risk, but there are some risks we can reduce. I'm not being insensitive, but when I think of Shane Warne, still young and possessed of all that amazing energy, skill, and charisma, being a heavy smoker and lost now because of the risk of smoking, what a dreadful loss he is. My father was also a heavy smoker for most of his life. He had a heart attack in his 30s, kept smoking until just over 60 when he finally quit. And then he died of a massive heart attack at just over 70. His last words were, "I think I'm going to collapse." And he was dead when he hit the ground. It was an appalling shock. It just doesn't make sense to totally ignore risk, in my opinion anyway. Floods are another dreadful risk when people build and live on low-lying land. I remember living in far north Queensland in 1967 and being completely flood-bound. Our house ended up only about 50 centimetres above a still rising creek that had swelled to half a kilometre wide and many metres above its normal level. We had no power, phone lines didn't exist there at that stage, and the only road out was closed. Trees were falling all round us all night. We had over a metre of rain in one day, and wow, that was a different experience. I had a 6-day-old baby at the time, and when we were able to get into town, 10 days or so later, the approaches on both sides of the river had washed away from the bridge, and I had to walk a plank above a raging torrent, holding on to a rope in one hand and my baby in the other to get to the hospital for some medical treatment that was urgently needed. So I totally empathise with people who are so isolated and harmed by the current floods. Sudden changes in world politics muck up our budget, like this damn war. Especially for those either running or working in small and medium businesses. The same applies to those affected by floods and fires. And it's wonderful to see so many people hoeing in to help each other. Life is full of so many risks, and we're not clear of viruses yet either. We just need to keep assessing our risks. We need to always weigh up both the likelihood and consequences of what we do and where we live. I'm so grateful that I live in Adelaide now, and I have family nearby. I have so much less risk in my life here now. But if you're a smoker, perhaps it's time to think about Shane Warne. I'm not being insensitive. I'm not trying to just mark it out of a disaster. But if you are thinking about Shane and how he died and thinking of quitting yourself, I have added a direct link below this in my newsletter. And my website is quitquickadelaide.com, so it's easy to find me.